At the Junior Beast Taming School, the teacher announced that tomorrow would be the Beast Master qualification exam. He reminded the class that everyone had already formed a contract with their first beast. He told them to rest well, prepare properly, and aim for good results. After that, he dismissed the class. Some students admitted they were nervous about the exam. Another student said he couldn't blame them. Becoming even an apprentice beast master was already tough with their current skills. Getting into an advanced Beastmaster Academy felt out of reach. One student shared that his goal was to enter the Beastmaster Academy in Ninjang City. While it wasn't a top-tier school, he felt confident he could get into an average one based on his abilities. On the other hand, another student was already feeling sick from the pressure. He worried that if he failed the exam, he'd just live an ordinary life without any special future. The Beastmaster qualification exam was approaching, but one student who had traveled through time didn't seem to care. Just a week ago, he had landed in this world, taking over his current body. By absorbing the body's memories, he quickly understood what kind of world he was now in. Hundreds of years ago, a great disaster occurred. Ferocious beasts poured out of dimensional rifts, attacking and killing humans, bringing suffering to all. In response, humanity fought back. Over time, they discovered how to tame these beasts and make them fight for them. This gave birth to the Beastmaster profession. In this beast-taming era, Beastmasters became a symbol of power and status. Becoming one meant stepping into society's elite. For many young people, the biggest dream was to become a powerful spirit master. In this world, everyone over 18 could contract their first beast. The stronger a person's soul, the more powerful the beast they could bond with. But none of this mattered to the time traveler. The body's previous owner had already formed a contract with a tiny, fluffy creature that looked cute, but was completely harmless. It wasn't strong, had no combat value, and couldn't even evolve. Seeing that, he figured he was destined for a normal, unremarkable life. He complained that other time travelers always seemed to get lucky. Either they had powerful, cheat-like abilities, or were strong enough to destroy the world. But him? He ended up like this. Just then, a man walked over and called him Lin Zi. He mocked him, saying it's fine if he doesn't become a beastmaster. He could always be a regular office worker. At least that job's safe and doesn't involve any danger. Another guy chimed in, joking that if nothing works out, he could take his little snowball and sell ice cream outside the mall. They laughed, adding that selling cold mineral water wasn't a bad option either. This got our MC irritated. Suddenly, a system notification popped up. The system had finished charging, and activation was successful. He wondered if it was the achievement system, Gold Finger. He sure waited so long for this moment. Turns out the system hadn't appeared before because it was still charging. He was overjoyed. He quickly checked his stats. His physique was 1.0, spirit 0.8, and spirit power 80 out of 80. He had no level, no spirit technique, and no achievement points yet. His current pet beast was Little Snowball. A note explained that the average adult male has 1.0 in both physical and spiritual attributes. The system explained that by completing achievements, he could earn achievement points and bonus items. These could be used to boost his pet's growth, unlock new skills, and improve his own abilities as a beastmaster. Curious, he checked Little Snowball's stats. It was an ice-type beast, currently at level 1, stage 1, with a 23.48% growth rate. Its only skill was Cold Air Breath, which helps it grow by fighting or consuming energy-rich items. Once it hits 100% growth, evolution would be triggered. After evolving, its strength would greatly increase. Z was stunned by this. He thought Snowball couldn't evolve at all. Then the system displayed evolution options. The first was the Giant Root. This path boosts melee strength and physical power, but weakens its control over ice abilities. Its next form would be the Snow Monster, which could evolve up to rank S. The second option was the Queen Root. This path enhances its ice element skills and spellcasting power, but weakens its melee capabilities. Its next form would be Ice Crystal Spirit, and it could evolve up to the King rank. Z couldn't believe it. He thought Snowball had no evolutionary potential. This had to be a hidden evolutionary path, which meant no more need to sell ice cream. He now had a shot at becoming a real Beastmaster. He was especially excited that the Queen route could go all the way to King rank. But for Snowball to evolve, it needed to reach 100% growth, absorb 20 low-level ice element essences, and obtain 1 spirit jade. Without hesitation, Zay tried using achievement points to upgrade Little Snowball. The system notified him that he had successfully contracted his first pet beast. For this achievement, he earned achievement points and 1 spirit crystal. His reward was ready to claim. The next achievement was to become an apprentice Beastmaster, which meant passing the qualification exam and completing the first baptism. Completing it would reward him with 200 achievement points and 1 spirit crystal. The final listed achievement was enrollment, getting accepted into any Beastmaster Academy. That would earn him 300 achievement points, 1 spirit crystal, and 1 strength crystal. He claimed the rewards that were available. Then he used them. Zay patiently observed. Little Snowball began to glow brightly. It successfully evolved to rank 1, stage 2 with 100% growth rate. Zay was thrilled that it actually worked. The system informed him that he had used up 77 achievement points and still had 23 left. He was a bit disappointed, though the dazzling light effects from the evolution didn't last long. Still, he knew this was just the beginning. If he wanted Snowball to evolve further, he'd need 20 ice element essences and 1 spirit jade. Those weren't cheap. He made a plan. Earn money, then buy the evolution materials at the pet shop. But before he could leave, the same group of guys mocked him again, asking if he was heading out to sell ice cream. Zay ignored them and told Little Snowball not to listen to their nonsense. He was relying on his pet for tomorrow's Beastmaster qualification exam. One of the guys, clearly offended, stepped forward. He was from the Jiang family, Jiangning City's second most powerful family. Zay knew he couldn't mess with someone like that just yet, so he simply said, "We'll see who's trash during the exam." That made the Jiang guy burst out laughing, because they looked down on Zay and his stuffed animal who can't evolve. They advised him not to go to the Beastmaster exam since it was impossible for him to pass. A woman named Jiang Hao stepped in and reminded him not to take things too far. The guys answered her, saying they weren't going too far at all. Instead of defending Zay, they told her she should just come with them. Zay told her to let it go. There was no need to argue. He believed that when the time came, they would understand on their own. He added that he needed to go to the pet shop and told her she could head home first. Later, standing in front of a shop door, Zay grumbled about how expensive evolution materials were. Months of savings had disappeared in an instant. When he returned, Guan told him her mother wanted to know if he'd like to have dinner at their house. He agreed. She tucked her hair behind her ear and asked if he could go with her tomorrow for the qualification exam. He said yes, since he'd be taking the exam too. That made her happy. She cheered him on, especially so he could prove himself to Jiang Hao and his gang. He promised her he would. Then she said goodbye. Back at home, Zay took out the items and told Little Snowball that leveling up in the future would cost a fortune. He handed over the materials, and Snowball happily devoured them. It let out a loud burp before beginning to glow. Zay watched eagerly, waiting for the evolution. A blinding light filled the room. Fingers began to form, then legs. Hair started to grow. When it was over, standing before him was a small blue girl with tiny crystal horns and a bunny tail. Despite her size, she looked intimidating. Her stats now read Rank 2, Stage 2, with 0% growth rate. She had gained new skills like Icicle and Extreme Cold Domain. Following the Queen route, her next evolution would be the Snow Maiden. To achieve it, she would need a 100% growth rate, 20 intermediate ice elemental essences, and 1 Heart of Ice and Snow. Zay was thrilled with the successful evolution and named her Ice Crystal Spirit. He couldn't believe how much her strength had improved. At Pinghai No. 1 Middle School, senior students usually had pet beasts between Stage 3 and Stage 5 of Rank 1. But his pet had jumped straight to Rank 2. Little Snowball snuggled up to him, and he could feel her icy cold touch. Just being near her made him shiver, a clear sign of her power, and it was far beyond what he had imagined. The system notified him that her first evolution was complete, awarding him 100 achievement points and 1 strength crystal. He thought to himself that, Without the system's guidance, no one would have wasted such expensive materials on a weak pet like Snowball. He took out a spirit crystal and a strength crystal. Spirit crystals increased spiritual strength, which determined how many and how strong a person's contracted pets could be. Strength crystals, on the other hand, directly boosted physical fitness, making them extremely valuable. He consumed both crystals. The surge of power shocked him. His physique rose from 1.0 to 2.0, his spirit from 0.8 to 1.8, and his spirit power from 80 to 147-180. He now had 123 achievement points. He no longer felt the cold, and a steady flow of strength coursed through his body. He punched the wall, leaving a hole behind. He didn't necessarily plan to fight in person, but being stronger meant he'd have a better chance of surviving danger. Little Snowball clung to him as he spent the rest of his achievement points, pouring them all into her. Her rank rose to rank 2, stage 4, with a 24% growth rate. With this, Z could already picture the Advanced Association's shock during the evaluation. The next day, Guan asked if he was ready. He said yes and stated that he was actually looking forward to the exam. She noticed how much more motivated he seemed. In the past, he wouldn't have even considered participating. He simply said that people change. Some girls nearby spotted Guan Ning. She was well known as a top student at Pinghai No. 1 middle school, but they couldn't understand why she always hung out with that loser. A blonde girl chimed in, saying she'd heard Zhou Hong had confessed to Guan yesterday and was rejected. She then asked why anyone even liked Guan, claiming she couldn't see what was so special about her. Zay overheard everything. Guan was his cousin. She was a genius at Pinghai No. 1 middle school, admired by many, but also surrounded by jealousy. Guan herself didn't care about any of that. She asked Zhao if he was really going to use Little Snowball for the assessment. He answered yes. Snowball was not to be underestimated. Guan wrapped her arms around his head and said that if they passed, they should celebrate. There was a shop she'd been wanting to visit for a long time. While they were joking around, someone suddenly told Guan to stop. A girl stepped forward and accused Guan of stealing her boyfriend. Guan's expression turned cold. She asked the girl who she was and who her boyfriend was. The girl answered, it was Zhou Hong. Guan remembered him only as a troublemaker. She clarified she wasn't interested in him and had rejected his confession. But the girl insisted that Guan had seduced him first. Guan decided it wasn't worth her time and turned to leave. Before she could walk away, the girl's older brother grabbed her by the shoulder. He was offended that she didn't seem to take him seriously. He told her that since she had messed with his cousin, he wouldn't be polite. Guan glared at him and told him to let go. That pushed the man over the edge. He raised his fist, ready to punch her. But before it could land, Z grabbed him by the arm. Even Guan was surprised by his sudden move. The little sister shouted at her brother to stop messing around. Everyone knew Z was supposed to be weak. The man sneered and asked if Z was trying to play the hero to save a pretty girl. Z glared at him. Hen kicked him hard. Everyone was stunned. The man was knocked back several steps, and Z walked toward him. He told the man that he was Guan's brother, so if there was a problem, he should come to him instead. The man clenched his teeth in anger. Guan realized for the first time that Z actually knew how to fight. Meanwhile, Z himself hadn't expected his physical strengthening to give him this much power. The man growled that Z was looking for death, then rushed at him. But he suddenly stopped when his arm began to glow. A blue light formed, growing brighter. Z and Guan watched. As a ghost wolf, rank 2, stage 1, appeared. The man looked down on them, thinking they were just 2 high school students. He had full confidence in his rank 2 ghost wolf. Guan felt pressured. Her own pet beast was only rank 1, stage 7. Even if she trusted its abilities, the chances of winning were slim, but she had no other choice. Then Z did something that surprised her. She asked if he planned to use Little Snowball. He told her that if she got injured, it might affect her qualification assessment. The girl who had accused Guan of stealing her boyfriend scoffed, thinking Z was a joke. For a nobody, he sure talked big. The man ordered his ghost wolf to charge. Z summoned his pet beast. A blinding light filled the air. The ghost wolf was almost upon them, when suddenly it froze in place. Little Snowball had unleashed extreme cold domain. In seconds, the wolf was an ice statue. The bullies stood frozen in shock. Even Guan couldn't believe it was the same Little Snowball. Z told her that Little Snowball had evolved. The man shouted at his ghost wolf to move. Z went on saying Little Snowball was now an ice crystal spirit. The frozen ghost wolf shattered into pieces. The man stood there in disbelief. The man shouted that, as a high school student, Z's pet beast shouldn't be stronger than rank 1, stage 9. He demanded to know how Z had so easily defeated his rank 2 pet beast. His sister nervously asked what they should do. The man admitted that he hadn't expected Z to have a rank 2 high-class pet beast. They had clearly miscalculated. Deciding not to push things further, he turned to leave. But Z stopped him, asking, "Who said you could go?" Both siblings froze. Little Snowball began forming icicles. The man's confidence crumbled. He bowed, apologized, and admitted he was wrong. Z told him he wasn't the one who needed the apology. The man then apologized to Guan and promised to deal with Johong himself. His sister was stunned to see her brother so submissive. Big Brother then punched her across the face, scolding her for just standing there, and ordered her to bow and apologize as well. Guan simply told them to leave. Our MC was satisfied with his pet's performance. He let the two go and watched as the man dragged his sister away. Once they were gone, Guan looked at Zhe in amazement. She asked how he had managed to take down a rank 2 ghost wolf and whether Little Snowball could still evolve. Z said yes, but since they were running out of time, they'd talk later. They needed to hurry to the qualification exam venue. At the Imperial Beast Association building, a crowd had gathered. Everyone's attention was on the origin stone. Some people commented on how big it was, while others said it didn't seem special at all. Z arrived as they announced that this was the last qualification assessment of the year. For some, failure meant losing their chance to become Beastmasters forever. For others, success meant admission to the Imperial Beast Academy and the start of a new life. He was determined to be among those who succeeded. Something then caught their attention. A man came out followed by guards. He welcomed everyone to the exam. He told them that when they came in, they all received a small bronze medal with the words, low, medium, high, superior. He told them that it was the key to entering the Origin Stone realm. They will need to choose the difficulty of the challenge that they are about to face. The harder it is, the richer the rewards will be. He told them to look at the screen. It displayed the details of each difficulty. First is the low difficulty, wherein after passing promotion to Apprentice Beastmaster, they will gain +1 spirit, and the growth rate of designated pet beast is 5%. For medium difficulty, after passing, they will receive +2 spirit, +1 physique, and +10% growth rate of designated pet beast. After passing high difficulty, they will receive +3 spirit, +2 physique, and +20 growth rate of the pet beast, and an open second beast slot. Lastly, for the superior difficulty, the rewards are +5 spirit, +3 physique, +30% growth rate of pet beast, and an open second pet beast slot. The examinees loved the rewards. Some aimed higher, some just wanted to pass the lowest difficulty. Guan asked Z what he would choose. The examiner advised them that before choosing, they need to consider it carefully since it is related to their future development prospects. He told them to combine their own strength and choose the difficulty level that suits them. Guan contemplated. He read the words at the bronze token. Eventually, the results are out. 46 people chose low difficulty, 10 people chose medium difficulty, 1 person chose high difficulty, and 1 person chose superior difficulty. They mocked the question of who was reckless for choosing superior difficulty. They joked that the person who did that was half asleep. The person whose thumb is on the superior difficulty was Z. People already believe that he won't be able to apply for the Imperial Beast Academy that year. Z held the bronze token in his hand. Guan stared at him in disbelief. He had chosen superior difficulty. That meant if he failed, he wouldn't be able to apply to the Beastmaster Academy for the entire year. He told her to relax, assuring her that he knew what he was doing. The crowd whispered, wondering if he had pressed the wrong option. The examiner frowned and scolded him, reminding him that he should have chosen more carefully. Z replied that his choice was made after careful consideration. The examiner wasn't pleased. He asked if Z was implying that he believed he could pass the superior difficulty. Z answered confidently, "Of course." The examiner shook his head, saying young people were always so arrogant. Since he had already given his warning, if Z still wanted to take the risk, so be it. After everyone had made their selections, he announced the start of the assessment. The participants sat on the floor as green mist surrounded them. The large origin stone glowed brightly. Small, shimmering bubbles formed around each examinee. While the others were concentrating, the examiner kept a close eye on Z, finding him interesting. Z was suddenly transported into an arena. He began to stand up and scanned his surroundings. It was clear he had entered the virtual realm of the origin stone. Here, any injuries, whether to the participants or their pet beasts, wouldn't affect them in reality. Knowing this, Z was ready to fight with his full strength. The system suddenly appeared, instructing him to defeat a ghost wolf. Z was pleased. He could still use the system here. He completed the task and earned 100 achievement points and 1 spirit crystal. He immediately used them. His spirit attribute rose from 1.8 to 2.8. Little Snowball's growth rate jumped from 24% to 44%, and her rank advanced from rank 2, stage 1, to rank 2, stage 6. With that, Z felt even more confident about winning. Then, as he prepared himself, something fell from the sky. It was a monster. The monster was called a flame lizard, a fire-type beast at rank 1, stage 7. Z had expected the superior difficulty to start harder, so he was puzzled that the first opponent was only rank 1. The flame lizard breathed fire. While Z commanded Little Snowball to use Icicle, she obeyed instantly. The flames and icicles collided. A massive explosion erupted. When the smoke cleared, the flame lizard was frozen solid. Z grinned. His icicle skill was far stronger than before. He had cleared the first of 5 levels in the exam. Then a gate appeared and opened. From it stepped a mummy-like creature, an undead-type bandage monster at rank 2, stage 9. For most examinees, even rank 1, stage 9 opponents were already difficult. Meanwhile, the examiner watched him closely. Z dispatched the bandage monster with ease. The examiner remarked that Z was lucky. So far, his opponents were just ones naturally restrained by his attributes. But he knew the next challenges wouldn't be so simple. Z cleared the second level and moved forward. The next foe appeared. A strange beast with wild, frenzied eyes. It was a blight beast, a plant-type monster at rank 2, stage 2. The examiner assumed Z's pet beast was at most rank 2, stage 1. He was certain Z wouldn't pass this round since his opponent was a blight beast at rank 2, stage 2. Z ordered Little Snowball to use Icicle, but the attack barely left a mark. He then realized that the blight beast's rough bark and thick flesh blocked it. The monster counterattacked. Roots shot out from the ground, wrapping around Little Snowball. It was using a technique called withered entanglement. Then it charged straight at her. The examiner smirked, convinced that even if Z was strong for a freshman, this was the end of the line. But what happened next wiped the smugness from his face. The blight beast hissed in pain as the ground beneath it froze solid. Z had activated Extreme Cold Domain. He pointed out that they weren't limited to just one skill. Another icicle shot was demanded. The blight beast tried blocking it with its arms. From above, the scene was clear. The beast was frozen from its feet up, the ground crystallized in a wide area. Its arms were pierced through by sharp ice spikes. Suddenly, more icicles formed behind it. The monster let out a loud groan as the ice spears pierced into its body. Then it collapsed. Z had finally cleared the third level. Only 2 levels remained. Meanwhile, in the exam hall, an examinee suddenly woke from the virtual realm. He cursed in frustration. He had been so close to defeating the test beast. Another examinee cried, upset at failing yet again. Even the lowest difficulty wasn't easy. The 5th level there had a rank 1, stage 6 beast. One examinee, however, was grinning ear to ear, celebrating becoming an apprentice beastmaster. Around the room, the participants wore mixed expressions, but they all turned their heads at once when someone shouted about a vicious claw beast. They looked at the Origin Stone's display and saw a rank 2 pet beast. Many questioned why such a strong creature was appearing in an apprenticeship assessment. They saw Zai, the one who had chosen superior difficulty, and realized he had just cleared the 4th level. The final round began. The examinees watching him whispered among themselves, wondering why he was so strong. One of them, who knew all the top students from the local high school, insisted there was no one like him. Guan woke up from the virtual realm. She was happy. She had successfully become an apprentice beastmaster. But she immediately wondered how Z was doing. Noticing the crowd gathered in front of the Origin Stone, her curiosity grew. She walked over and saw that Z had passed the 4th level of superior difficulty. The crowd held their breath, waiting to see the final monster. A saber-toothed lion emerged, a beast-type monster at rank 2 stage 5. Gasps erupted. Many believed it was impossible for a newcomer to defeat something that strong. Z, however, welcomed the challenge. He launched an icicle, but the lion was too fast and dodged with ease. He was caught off guard by its speed. The saber-toothed lion countered with saber claw assault. Little Snowball's back was grazed, leaving a chip in her icy body. The examiner leaned forward, carefully watching. He secretly admitted that Z was strong, but believed this was his limit. Z understood that even though the ice crystal spirit was 1 stage higher, battles weren't decided by stage alone. Attributes, conditions, environment, and strategy all played key roles. Right now, Little Snowball was in a weakened state from 4 consecutive fights, while the saber-toothed lion excelled in one-on-one combat. With its superior speed and strength, this would be a difficult match. If things continued like this, he might actually lose. He decided to wait for the perfect opportunity. Watching closely, he found his moment. As the saber-toothed lion charged, the ice crystal spirit unleashed icicle. Both the lion and Little Snowball collapsed at the same time. The crowd was left stunned and confused. Then, unexpectedly, the saber-toothed lion began to move again. The examiner was surprised that his result was tied with the rank 2 stage 5 saber-toothed lion. It made him assume that Z's pet beast is at least around rank 2 stage 5. He was amused that he hid such a trick. He recalled how Z expressed that it was a decision he made after careful consideration. The saber-toothed lion growled loudly. Little Snowball was back on its feet. It glared at the monster. She released icicles towards it. Its claws started to freeze, but that was just it. The bast then stabbed the ice beneath it. Z remembered that the saber-toothed lion was originally a pet beast from extremely cold lower regions, so it has a strong resistance to the cold. Z could feel that he's being restrained. The system prompted him that a new achievement was achieved. The cumulative number of times a pet has used skills reached 10, so he obtained 100 achievement points. With that, a pet beast skill unlocking function opened. He wondered what that was. The system showed skills like Arctic Chains, a control skill that manipulates the ice element to condense into a strong chain, bind the actions of the target, and to unlock it. It requires a growth rate of 40%, 50 achievement points. The next is the Ice Shield, a defense skill that manipulates the ice element to form an ice shield. It can freely defend against attacks from any direction. To unlock it, it requires a growth rate by 60% and 50 achievement points. Lastly, there was the Frost Nova. An area of attack sharply compresses a large amount of ice elements in a specific area into a single point and instantly releases explosive ice attribute damage. To unlock it, it requires a growth rate of 80%, 100 achievement points. He was surprised that he could add more skills. He knew that pet beasts can have a maximum of 2 basic skills, and the more skills he has, the more tactics he can combine. Icicle is a main attack skill, and it relies more on control. Although the extreme cold realm has a large range and also has damage and control, it's not powerful enough. What is needed now in the current situation is a powerful single-target control technique. He chose Arctic Chains control skill, and all the while, the saber-toothed lion was already about to pounce on them. but before it landed its attack, it was engulfed with blue mist. Then Z leveled up Little Snowball using the remaining points. Ice Crystal Spirit rank 2 stage 7, and her growth rate was upgraded to 54%. The light filled the whole area, so the crowd was curious about what was going on. They learned that it was a level up, and that made their jaw drop. They couldn't understand how it was possible when they didn't even see what materials he used. Also, they knew that even with combat experience, leveling up should only be possible after winning. They could tell that something was strange. Z taunted the monster. Then he told Little Snowball to try out the Arctic chains. The saber-toothed lion was wrapped in ice chains. Since it couldn't move, it whimpered. Z found the right timing. He unleashed the icicle, and this powerful attack landed in full force. The crowd who watched him were all puzzled. They wondered what skill it was. The examiner wondered why his pet can use 3 skills. They watched him intensely. The icicles pierced the saber-toothed lion, but Z could tell how thick its skin was. He was ready to go for another round, but the saber-toothed lion fell. A notification appeared that the level is cleared. With that, he had successfully passed the Superior Difficulty Apprentice assessment. Guan rejoiced that he actually made it. Everyone couldn't believe it. Some say that he bribed the examiner. The examiner admitted that he didn't expect that. He had seen quite a few talented young beastmasters, but it's the first time he had seen an unknown guy like that who came up and suddenly became an overnight celebrity. Z's physique 2 increased to 5 spirit, and his spirit 2.8 increased to 7.8. His level is apprentice, and he has 780 spirit power, no spirit technique, and 3 achievement points. His Ice Crystal Spirit is at rank 3 stage 1 with growth 84%, and skills like Icicle, Arctic Domain, and Arctic Chains. Z calls it promotion of superior difficulty, and he was impressed by the improvement in strength. The system notified him that he can contract a second pet beast. It made him think on what beast pet to choose. He decided to check out the pet shop. With him passing the Apprentice Beastmaster Qualification Assessment, completing the first promotion, he received 209 achievement points and 1 Spirit Stone. The examiner told him that the rewards had been distributed and he could now exit the trial. When he opened his eyes, he saw that everyone was looking at him. They bombarded him with questions. Our boy just became the hottest celebrity in town now. Unexpectedly, he received a hug from behind. It was Guan. She was so happy for him. The examiner approached him and told him that his performance was amazing. He took back what he said earlier, that he was impulsive and reckless, since he now knew that he was confident because of his strength. The examiner apologizing to the examinee was shocking to everyone. Then he invited Z to join the Beast Tamers Association. He offered him a position as a reserve officer that comes with generous benefits and pay, and it wouldn't be in conflict with his application to the Imperial Beast Academy, and he will be awarded with the title of Association Deacon immediately after graduation. He asked Z what he thinks of that. Everybody's jaw dropped after hearing that. Guan encouraged Z to agree to it quickly, since only outstanding students who graduated from the Imperial Beast Academy are eligible to take the test and join the Beast Tamers Association. She stated that the competition is as fierce as 1,000 troops crossing a single bridge. Z knew that if he agrees to it, he won't have to worry about the 4-year living expenses and tuition fees at the Imperial Beast Academy, and everyone will have to look up to him. However, he's aware that everything comes with a tag price, and the more he receives now, the more he'll have to pay in the future. In addition to that, the Beast Tamers Association has a lot of rules, and he doesn't want to lose his freedom. He thanked the examiner for his kindness and told him that he already thought about it clearly, and he wanted to decide after graduation. A student suggested to the examiner that since Z doesn't want to go, he can go in his place. But the examiner ignored him. The examiner was thinking that Z was smart. He could see that with Z's growth rate, he will become hundreds of times stronger than he is currently, and if that happens, he'd have the power to ask for the highest level of benefits from the Beast Tamers Association, instead of the little benefit that he told him. He didn't force him. Instead, he told him that if he came up with any requirements or he changed his mind, he's welcome to find him any time. He gave his name, He Genwen, They eventually exited the hall. Someone called Guan. It was a pink-haired girl wearing a pink dress named Liu Xian and a black-haired girl wearing a long black skirt with white top named Zhang Xiaoyun. Guan introduced them to Zhe. Xiaoyun told Guan that she wanted her brother's contact information, while Xian gave her phone to Zhe, requesting that he add her as his friend. She told him that they had taken a liking of him from the very start and hoped they could hang out in the future. Xian also said hi to him and congratulated him. Guan was feeling annoyed. Zhe told them that they have to leave since they have something to do. Xian insists that he adds her first before they leave, but Guan and him had sped off. Unexpectedly, Zhe received a message telling him to come to the office. He went straight to his teacher and asked why. Our boy's teacher was this hot, pink-haired lady who had heard that he passed the superior difficulty trial. He nodded his head, which made her jump from her seat and hugged him tightly. She told him that she had faith in him, but his memory of her was her chasing him with a whip for getting a D. After the hug, she told him that she called him because she wanted to give him something.